This product claims it can cool your personal space in just minutes while using very little electricity. Sounds impressive, but after researching how the Nessally Cooling Ace actually works and comparing its claims with real-world performance, we found there are some important things you should know before buying. At first glance, the Nessally Cooling Ace looks like a compact portable air conditioner, but based on its advertised design and features, it is an evaporative air cooler rather than a true compressor-based air conditioner. And that difference has a major impact on what it can realistically do. Instead of using refrigerant and a compressor, the unit pulls warm air through a wet cooling filter, allowing evaporation to create a cooler-feeling breeze. This technology uses much less electricity, but it cannot remove heat from a room the same way a traditional air conditioner does. One advantage is that the unit is lightweight, portable, and easy to set up because it does not require a window exhaust hose or complicated installation, making it convenient for desks, bedrooms, offices, and other personal spaces. The biggest problem is the marketing because some advertisements suggest that the Nessally Cooling Ace can cool an entire room like a real air conditioner. There is no reliable evidence that a compact evaporative cooler can provide that level of cooling performance. In real-world use, the cooling effect is usually limited to the area directly in front of the device. If you are sitting nearby, the airflow may feel cooler than a regular desk fan, especially when using cold water. But it should not be expected to dramatically lower the temperature of a whole room. Climate also plays an important role, because evaporative coolers work much better in hot, dry environments than in humid climates. If the air is already humid, the cooling effect becomes much less noticeable. If you're enjoying this video, hit subscribe and stick around. Going back to the topic. Another advantage is the low power consumption because the unit does not use a compressor, making it much cheaper to operate than a traditional portable or window air conditioner, although the cooling performance is also much more limited. The water tank needs to be refilled regularly, and the cooling filter should be cleaned or replaced over time. Otherwise, airflow and cooling performance may gradually decrease during normal use. Customer experiences with products like this are often mixed, because satisfaction depends heavily on expectations. Buyers who understand they are purchasing a personal evaporative cooler are generally happier than those expecting a full-size air conditioner. The compact size makes it easy to move from room to room or take while traveling, but the small design naturally limits the amount of air it can cool compared with larger cooling appliances. Adding ice to the water tank may make the airflow feel slightly cooler for a short period, but it does not change how the technology works. The device still relies on evaporative cooling rather than refrigeration. The biggest mistake buyers can make is believing advertisements that promise instant whole-room cooling without a compressor or exhaust hose. Current evaporative cooling technology simply cannot deliver those kinds of results. That does not automatically make the Nessally Cooling Ace a bad product, because it can still provide a refreshing personal breeze while using very little electricity, especially in dry climates where evaporative cooling naturally performs better. Our final verdict is that the Nessally Cooling Ace is only worth buying if you understand it is a personal evaporative air cooler and not a true portable air conditioner. If you expect it to cool an entire room, you will probably be disappointed. But if you simply want affordable personal cooling while sitting nearby, it can be a reasonable option. Another thing to remember is that the cooling filter needs regular cleaning or replacement depending on how often you use the unit. Allowing the filter to become dirty can reduce airflow and make the cooling effect much less noticeable over time. If your main goal is lowering your electricity bill, the Nessally Cooling Ace can be a reasonable option because evaporative coolers typically use far less power than traditional air conditioners. However, the lower energy consumption also comes with much more limited cooling performance. For the best results, place the unit close to where you are sitting instead of expecting it to cool an entire room. Using it as a personal cooler on a desk, bedside table, or office workspace will provide a much better experience than placing it across the room.